Welcome to Carburetors and Coffee. This antique General Motors sign was supposed to be a simple cleaning. No tools, no disassembly, just a wipe down. A sort of deep clean, I guess. And that's about it, really. Now it's completely torn apart, which I failed to film. Sorry about that. But every bolt was removed, pretty much. The guts inside, which lead to decades of grime being exposed. And now I'm pressure washing it like it's personally offended me or something. But really, it's that dirty. You see, it belongs to a friend of mine. It's not mine. I saw it sitting there in the corner of his shop and I said, "Hey, you mind if I take that home, give it a nice bath? I think it'll look nice sitting here in your shop all cleaned up." He said, "Yeah, take it home, clean it up." Well, it wasn't that simple. I had a little bit of a better idea. At least I think so, and you're going to see it now. So what's next for this thing? Well, stick around, because this is Carburetors and Coffee, and we never really stop at just cleaning. Hey, how's it going? I'm in the studio today because I'm working on, that's right, this GM sign. And you ever bite off more than you can chew? Well, that's kind of what I did with this thing. And it started out as just a cleanup. I was just going to clean it. And then I got to looking at it and was like, this doesn't look good. And then I took it apart. And then I was like, well, if I'm taking it apart, I might as well, just clean it up even more. And then there was all these holes in it from years of people drilling holes into it and wiring and things like that. So when I took it apart, let me show you what's inside this thing. You know, this thing's meant to live outside and basically brave the elements. Snow, rain, sleet, just like a mailman pretty much. So check this out. Let me show you what's inside this thing. Okay, the original plan, I wanted to revise this stuff and use the stuff inside to get this lit up again. And I thought, yeah, it should be easy. Well, once I opened it up and looked, this primitive stuff was just not, gonna work. And when I opened it, of course, inside, there was just stuff rattling around. Well, come to find out, it was one of these. You ever seen one of these? I've never seen one of these before. So it goes like this. I'll show you. All right, this is how it was inside. This is like spring loaded, and it pulls down on this and plugs it into these ballast pretty much in here. And this just wasn't gonna work anymore. I don't really even know if they probably make these bulbs still, but this is just so primitive. And there was a big pole right in the middle. I'll show that to you in a minute here. But yeah, it just wasn't gonna work. There's just so many better ways to go ahead and redo this sign inside, because you're not gonna see it. And with LED stuff nowadays, there's just better ways. So let's move on to the panels. Let me show you the good one. So here's the inside of the best panel we have here. This is a good panel. And it's got some dirt on it. And as you saw, I pressure washed it because really no amount of scrubbing was doing any good. And I just did it gingerly on the inside. And I'm gonna do some better cleaning on the outside because there's some like this stuff here. And this is gonna clean up nice. So I still have a little more cleaning to do, but looks good. Okay, we'll put this one aside. I'll show you the one that had a lot of damage to it. So this guy here, I did the best I could. So I thought that I didn't have the pieces, so there's a couple pieces that I had to glue back together here, but when I dumped out all the remnants of the bulb, I was going through the scraps, and I found all the plastic pieces here. There were a couple that weren't left, but check it out. I was able to go ahead and here was a big chunk here, and then here. So, yeah, it doesn't look, it's not perfect, it's not great, but this was all missing. And then there was some cracks and everything, so I was able to repair it. And then when you held it up to the light, because obviously I'm going to put a light in there, and when you held it up to the light, you could see a transparent crack through there. So I just took some acrylic paint and, fixed it from the inside. So this is way better than it was, and I think it came out pretty good. All right, now let me show you. These are the pieces that actually go around and hold it on. And I'll show you the piece outside. Now that part, let me tell you. Now you saw me pressure washing that. That part is taking the most labor and well, I'm gonna have to put some body filler in that. I do have a plan for, because it's just a big box, you know, how do you carry this thing? I'm gonna put a handle on top and I'm gonna put LED inside there to light this thing up and then put some reflective material on the inside to help it light up. So I got the rest of it outside. We're gonna put some body filler in those holes to fix it. So we'll get out there and I'll show you that. Okay, here we are. This is it. And that's obviously where the panel goes in, but check out all these holes. Now, let me show you the post that was in here that I had to cut out because obviously this went, you know, at one time was on a big pole and it needed support. This is all aluminum and it's got these brackets in here. So let me show you that. Okay, here it is. So look at this thing. It's super heavy duty. Okay, went in here like this. So now we've got these holes. Here's where your power came through. So I had to cut this out and it just makes it more manageable now for whoever owns this thing. So now, unfortunately, look at this. We've got all these unnecessary holes. We got like 2 right there, these big ones here, 2 there, you know, and then this. So what do we do with them? We got all these holes. Well, now we got some filling to do. So we're gonna get mixing some mud and filling these in. But first we're gonna put some tape back here to hold it. Okay, I did a lot off camera because body work is filthy and takes forever. And before you know it, your battery's dead and all your footage is lost. So I just shut the camera down and just went to town on this thing. So I got the pretty much everything done. Pretty much everything done. That made a ton of sense. But anyway, you don't come to this channel for awesome grammar. It's looking good. So next is to put like a primer sealer on it. And then I'll be able to find all the imperfections that I missed. But that's okay. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for much better than it was. Also in here, these are the pieces that go around the perimeter that hold down the panels. I got them all out, obviously, and not one of these didn't break. So I'm gonna have to re-drill different holes. And then I'm gonna have these holes and I'm gonna have to figure something out for this. But one of these was missing when I got this piece. So I'm gonna have to figure either something out or just leave it and not have one of these. But I think what I could do is maybe just cut something plastic and then match it up. So that's what I probably will end up doing because I don't have anything remotely like this. I was thinking I could use a piece of wood, but then it would just stick way out because look at how thin this is. So I'll probably come up with a piece of plastic to mimic it because there's no way I'm going to leave it like that. So that's what I'll do. But all right, right now we're going to get the primer sealer and spray it. couldn't find any plastic. I looked. There was nothing. It was either too flimsy. I was just having a discussion with anti-person, whatever, and so I did not find plastic, but I found this. So I threw our old furnace away, but I kept this because I always know that I'm gonna need sheet metal. And I was like, hey, that would make like a cool scoop or something for a car. But in this case, I see a bend that I need already. So I'm gonna have to take some off here, but you know, just shift this right over here, trace this out, and I've got the piece I need. And it's a piece of metal, and I think this will work just fine. Good morning. All right, well, it's time for some coffee talk. Boy, it was a long day yesterday and last night. Long night. Let me tell you what we got going on. So, I did a lot of mock-up yesterday with this sign. I've got all the holes drilled for the handle, and I've got the placement for the new screws figured out because I had to drill some new holes for the, the screws. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so we've got our plates here that hold our panels in. And, you know, I was trying to figure how am I gonna cover up these holes. Now I had to make new ones, I was thinking, because we have ones that are still stuck in. So we have screws that are still stuck in. So what I did was offset over here so that hopefully the screw heads will just sort of cover up the old holes. That's what I've come up with. That's the best I've come up with because I couldn't think of anything to fill these holes in. And I don't want to get into Bondo and over these because we got like a line and everything. So it'll make more sense when I show you when it's put together. But anyway, I had to go through and match these all back up again because all 8 pieces are dedicated to each and every one of these. Now, remember what I was talking about the custom piece I made? That is this guy right here. And the custom piece I made is right here. So that'll be this guy. Got the holes all drilled and it looks good. It's gonna be good. Got my coffee. You got yours? Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna move on with the lighting. I got this off eBay. It was about, when all is said and done, it was about 15, 17 bucks. And this is originally for, you know, like lighting for studio lighting. But this is perfect for what I needed. And I got the hole drilled in the side here. And I'll flip this up. Let me show you the bottom first. I've already got it mounted. Here is the piece. Here is the LED panel. Okay, I've already unsoldered the wiring. Let's get this over here. It gets soldered right to here. Now here's the light itself. I've got it screwed in from the bottom. And originally this went here, double-sided tape. This guy, you know, went like this. And that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna screw this back on. And this went like this. And then this has like a plate you could slide on there to change colors and stuff like that, but obviously we're not gonna be using that. So now I've got over here on this side, got the hole already drilled. So we'll fish our wire through here. And then I'll resolder it. And cool, huh? Also, I've got this reflective tape, and I'm gonna line the whole interior of this. I already did a test of what it looks like with the panel in here, and it looks really good already with just the lighting, and you could see the panel really well. It lights up really good. But I think when this is in here, if I put this reflective tape on the inside, it's gonna really brighten up even more. But yeah, it looks really good so far. So this is nice and solid. And I was kind of wondering, how should I fasten this? I was like thinking, oh, I'll use double-sided tape or something like that. But what happens if it comes loose in there and now it's, you know, flopping around? So this works out perfect that I just used the existing screw holes underneath there, and that's how it's done. So now I'll be able to just, you know, put this through here and do that. So this is great. And then you know, I'll fasten this down. I'll be able to use this existing deal here. That's what that came with, so that this, you know, you can't pull on it or whatever. Also, let me show you up here, did a bunch of measuring on the top. I went to Lowe's and got this handle. It was like $5 or $6. And I already got this mocked up. These screws have already pretty much threaded themselves, but I drilled these holes in there. Yeah. What's next? Well, I'll tell you. Getting back outside, taking this out there, and getting that 2-in-1 sandable primer on it, giving it a light scratch, you know, with Scotch-Brite, then paint, and then assembly, and we could be done. All right, let's get outside. So I moved the operation to this end of the garage because, well, it's cold out. And I've been productive while I've been waiting for the primer to dry. Check this out. I got the old Buddy Pro. Got the old motor out. And I got the new used motor in. So I don't have to kickstart this thing anymore. Check this out. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I used to have to put a screwdriver in there, a long one, and kickstart the fan, which was in there. So I harvested parts, and this is from the wiring on this old motor. And because I'm cheap, I keep stuff like this. So see those spades on the end of there? Look at this wiring. This is off of this motor, and I took the back plate off of it and everything, and like I said, I took the motor off, or the fan blade. I don't know, maybe I'll need that fan blade someday, but this is all seized up and ready to be thrown in the junk pile. So I'll put this here. Yeah, but I mean, yesterday I was sweating. Now today I'm freezing. So it's just another wonderful day here in New York. But nonetheless, we're ready to put a very, very light splash of black enamel, flat black on this. So let me show you. Let me show you what I got here. That's pretty amazing, huh? Turbo. Yeah. I found this at Lowe's, and they didn't have this over where the spray paint was. Oh no, they forgot to put the ball in there. No, it's in there. And they had this over with all the building supplies. Check this out. I also got one of these. This is the gloss. That's for a different project. This, I didn't buy for this project, but it's perfect for this project. Ow. This is dangerous. Seriously, I mean, you can really whack somebody in the head with this thing, or yourself, if you're not careful. All right, so I'm gonna shake this a little bit longer, and normally you would shake like a regular non-turbo can for like a minute, so I'm gonna guess 2 minutes, but I'm like literally throwing my shoulder out from this. So I'm gonna give this a very light coat and let her dry, and then another light coat, and then another one. So let's get to it. Holy cow. Turbo spray system. 4 times faster than traditional spray paint. I did not understand. See this tip on here? This is like spraying with like an automotive gun. I thought it was just like a regular can, just like with 2 times the stuff in it to like last long. Wow. You see how fast I got that done? Okay. So I'm just gonna let that dry. I think I'll turn on the Buddy Pro and then let it sit for, you know, an hour or so. I gotta spray those other pieces and get those done. Well, 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 we're getting closer. I've got this all fitted with my silver liner tape, and I almost used the entire roll. That stuff is expensive. It's almost like 20 bucks a roll. And obviously this project has cost me a lot more than I wanted it to. This cost me about 15 bucks, and of course I told you about this handle. You know, it was only like, I don't know, 6 bucks or something like that. But I think it's coming out really nice, and as you saw, look at that. Don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's really bright, and putting this in here is gonna make it illuminate a lot brighter. And of course this little switch and everything. Now, fitting these panels. This should be good. Getting close. Let's get them on there. Well, there you have it. Came out pretty good. Had a little mishap right here. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but I slipped with my screw gun because the screw was fatter than the hole, and it was struggling, and then the screw gun slipped and scratched this. But of course, it didn't happen on the, it happened on the really good side. This side doesn't look very pleasing to the eye, but here's the deal. Now this is cool, you can pick it up. It looks better than before. This was all knocked out and it was a huge hole. Whoever ends up with this thing, they can just flip it around the other way. It's still a pretty good piece. It's way better than it was before, especially this side. So I think the reflective tape in there was a super good idea because it illuminates the entire thing. You know, the light just being down in here makes it look like there's light all inside there. I think if I didn't do that, we might just get a glow halfway or something like that. You would definitely see something going on in there that wouldn't be right, but that was the ticket. Okay, my buddy's gonna be happy to get this back. I know I'm glad to be done with it, and I am glad that you are here watching as usual. See ya on the next Carburetors and Coffee. Bye.